Good evening, student. After completing the differences between cilia and flagella, now let's try to understand the internal structure of cilia and flagella. We already said that cilia and flagella internally are same. They are the outgrowth from the cell membrane, and initial part of the cilia and flagella is also covered by cell membrane. So if we consider the cilia and flagella, if suppose this is a cell and a outgrowth from the cell is actually a cilia or flagella, which is developed from a centriolar modification, that is basal granule or basal body. This basal body or basal granule will give rise to cilia and flagella, and the cell membrane will cover this cilia and flagella on the initial part. So this cell membrane will cover this cilia and flagella up to some distance. Clear? The entire length of cilia and flagella is not covered by cell membrane. It covers the basal part of the cilia and flagella, and we are taking a cross section at this level. So if we take a cross section at this particular point, then internally we can visualize two parts. Number one, we can visualize a peripheral cell membrane. So in internal structure of cilia and flagella, we can visualize two parts. Number one is peripheral membrane, that is cell membrane, and second, anything inside the cell membrane, everything inside the cell membrane is called as axoneme. So the core of cilia and flagella is called as axoneme. As we have taken this is the portion of cilia and flagella. So this is the central part which is called as axoneme, and it is covered by plasma membrane. Clear? So we have taken the cross section at this particular level, so we can visualize a plasma membrane, that is a peripheral membrane, and everything inside the plasma membrane, that is a black color thing, which is called as axoneme. Now this axoneme is also divided into two parts, the central axoneme and the peripheral axoneme. So this axoneme is actually divided into two parts, central axoneme and peripheral axoneme. This central axoneme consists of microtubular structures which are called as singlets. So a central axoneme will have two microtubular structures which are connected to each other with the help of cross bridge, and these two microtubular structures are called as singlets. These singlets are covered by again a central sheath. Clear? Then a peripheral axoneme is consist of 9 evenly placed microfibrils which are called as doublets. So there are actually two microtubules which are present in the peripheral axoneme. This is one and this is another. The inner tube is called as A tube and the outer is called as B tube. These tubes are made up of protofilaments and they are centrally hollow structure. So these doublets are actually hollow in the center, and these doublets are made up of protofilament. A tube of a doublet is made up of 13 protofilament, and the B tube of a doublet is made up of 10 protofilament. These tubes are actually made up of a protein tubulin. The structure of tubulin we will understand in the next video, where we discuss the structure of tubulin or the microtubules in detail. But here just remember that the A tube is made up of 13 protofilaments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. So A tube is made up of 13 protofilaments. And the B tube is made up of 10 protofilaments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So that will have 10 protofilaments. Clear? This in comparison to centriole, where these tubes are present in the form of triplets. In case of centriole, we are having triplet tubules. So the peripheral filament in case of centriole are actually the triplets. In this triplet, we are having tubule A, B and C in case of centriole. Here also the tubules are hollow internally, and the A tubule is made up of 13, B tubule is made up of 10 and C tubule is also made up of 10 protofilaments. So in case of centriole, the A tube is made up of 13, B tubule is made up of 10 and C tubule is also made up of 10 protofilament in case of centrioles. Clear for this thing? Now these AB doublets are placed surrounding to the central sheath. Okay, and we are having such 9 AB doublets which are surrounding the central sheath in equal distance. So let's try to draw the diagram for the internal structure of cilia and flagella. For the internal structure, we have to first draw two central singlets. These central singlets are also a hollow structures which are made up of 13 protofilaments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. So this is another singlet. Clear? These two singlets are connected with the help of cross bridge. So here we will show the cross bridge. And the central singlet is covered by the central sheath. So this is the central sheath which will cover both the singlets. Now surrounding the central sheath, we are having 9 evenly placed peripheral doublets which will form the peripheral axoneme. So here we are drawing a reference circle. Let's suppose, for example, this is a plasma membrane, and inside we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 evenly placed peripheral doublets. Each doublet is made up of 2 tubules. So the inner tubule is A tubule and the outer one is the B tubule. So here also we are having A tubule and the outer one is B tubule. Here we are having inner A and outer B tubule, inner A and outer B. Inner A and outer B tubule. These doublets, the peripheral doublets, the inner A tube will also have two side arms. So a tube of a doublet will also have two side arms. There is one short side arm which is present inside and it will have a bend, and there is one long side arm which is present on the outer side and it will form a loop like of structure. Clear? So there are two side arms which are present to the inner tube. So a inner A tube will have one shorter side arm and one larger side arm. The shorter side arm is having a bend like of structure and which is present inside, while the, so this is a bend, and while the longer side arm is having a loop type of structure and it is present on the outer side. The connection between the doublets is in such a way that a B tube of a doublet will get connected to A tube of another doublet. So while connecting them, let's label them first. Okay, this is a tube, this is B, A, B, okay. And while connecting them, we have to connect them in a clockwise manner where A tube of one doublet will get connected to the B tube of another doublet. So they will connect like this. That gives a cartwheel appearance to the cilia and flagella. So this connector which is connecting the A and B tube is called as AB linker protein. So this is a AB linker protein which is made up of Nexin type of protein. Okay. Then we are having this side arm. This is a long side arm and this one is the short side arm. This long side arm is made up of dynein protein, which is a contractile protein, and the tubule, the singlets, these are the singlets, are also made up of dynein protein, while the AB doublets, these are the AB, are made up of tubulin type of protein. Clear? So AB doublets are made up of tubulin proteins, Singlets are made up of dynein protein, long arm is made up of dynein protein, and AB linker is made up of Nexene type of protein. Then there are another type of proteins, a dense proteinaceous aggregate which will connect the doublets with the central sheath. Okay, so these dense proteinaceous aggregates are actually called as radial spoke, and due to the help of these radial spoke, the doublets are connected to the central sheath. Clear? So these are the radial spokes. In total we are having 9 doublets, so we will have 9 radial spoke which get connected to the central sheath. And this structure is a cross bridge. So internally we are having this particular structure, the singlets which are connected with cross bridge and surrounded by central sheath. This much structure is called as central axoneme, while the peripheral doublet will form the peripheral axoneme, and whole this structure is covered by plasma membrane. So now this is our plasma membrane, which is covering the entire structure. Clear? So internally the structure of cilia and flagella is divided into a peripheral membrane. So this is a peripheral membrane. Everything inside the peripheral membrane is called as axoneme. This axoneme is having two parts: the central axoneme, which consists of two tubes made up of dynein protofilaments, and they are called as singlets, which are connected by the cross bridge and surrounded by central sheath. Now outside the central sheath and inside the plasma membrane there is a peripheral axoneme which consists of 9 evenly placed AB doublets. These AB doublets are connected to central sheath with the help of radial spoke. Each tube of a doublet, that is inner tube is A tube and outer tube is B tube. These tubes are made up of tubulin protein, and these tubulin protein will form protofilament. For making A tube we require 13 protofilament, and for making B tube we require 10 protofilament. The A tube is having two side arms. The shorter side arm, which is present towards inside, is having a bend, while the longer side arm, which is present towards the outer side, is having a loop kind of structure. And all the doublets are connected to each other in such a way that A tube of one doublet will get connected to a B tube of another doublet with the help of AB linker protein, which is a Nexene type of protein. So we have to mug this all structure. हमें ये पूरे स्ट्रक्चर पे रट्टा मार के रखना पड़ेगा. बहुत सारे बार इस टॉपिक पे क्वेश्चन आ चुके हैं. सो दिस इज एवरीथिंग अबाउट द इंटरनल स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ cilia and flagella. Now if you want to discuss ki how this structure will work, see, this dynein is a contractile protein, and the central part of a contractile protein is responsible for the movement of the peripheral part. Whenever the dynein, a contractile protein, will contract, so suppose ki this is a cartwheels type of structure and these are the doublets which are attached to this central part. Now this just like an axle of a car, so the central axle will move and the movement of central axle will also rotate the peripheral part. So in this way the cilia and flagella will show you a rolling type of movement which will be responsible for locomotion of the organism. So this is how the cilia and flagella are functional inside the cell. Now in the next video we will learn about the microbodies inside the cytoplasm. Thank you.